Hey, fifth graders. Today we'll be talking about the Spanish explorers in North America. So here's a picture of a Spanish explorer asking for money. And actually, Christopher Columbus himself had to ask for money from Ferdinand and Isabella, who hoped to spread Christianity and find riches. He had to ask them for money. And when he sailed to find a route to Asia, which was his goal, he ended up landing in North America here. But he actually, when he left Spain, he thought he was going around the world and ending up in Asia. But he just hit the first landmass he saw. Matter of fact, one of his quotes, he said that the crew saw signs of land and a small branch covered with berries. Everyone breathed afresh and rejoiced at these signs. So the first land that they saw was actually not Asia, but somewhere over here in the Caribbean islands, even though that was not his intended destination. So here you can see in 1535, Spain established their colony of New Spain. Here in the orange, you can see Florida. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But they did call it New Spain, and they also sent missionaries there who hoped to convert the Indians, there's kind of them in the corner there, to help convert them to Christianity so they would follow their religion. And their ultimate goal was, as always during this time of exploration, they wanted land and power and money and gold. And they found that when they got to the Americas. So they actually took advantage of the American Indians who were already here to help them get those resources. So here you see that there was American Indians already there when Spain landed, and after Spain was settled, they established a class structure, which meant they had some Spaniards who had more wealth and power that would be in charge, and below them they had servants, and the American Indians that were already settled there and had been living there before the Spanish got there, they were kind of at the bottom. They were forced into slavery, and they were the ones that were mining the gold and silver for the Spanish, who were sending it back to Spain and getting rich. Um, of course, also misusing or mistreating the American Indians that were already there, and at the same time trying to convert their religion. Um, they also, uh, American Indians also had little control over their lives. They couldn't really decide where to live or how to live. Once the Spanish settled there, they kind of took over and, like I said, enslaved them, forcing them to do pretty much whatever they wanted. And the Spanish also brought some diseases that they have from their home country to the American Indians who had never, maybe it was something like a common cold or some kind of flu or fever or sickness that the Spanish had in their homeland and brought it over to the American Indians and also caused them to die from those diseases. So here you see a picture of St. Augustine, which was settled in 1565, and it became the first permanent settlement um, in what is now Florida. And the reason that it was hard for them to settle all over different places was because of bad weather, conflicts with the Indians that they tried to settle in their lands. So once they established St. Augustine, it became one of the more supported colonies by Spain. And also, it was a great area to have ships come in, so it was easy to send trading from the American Indians. Once they farmed and mined their gold and silver for them, Spain could take those goods back to their homeland. It was a great port or a great place for their ships to land and leave from. Also, they sent many missionaries here because they were teaching the Indians Catholic religion and introduced Indians to the Spanish way of life. And you can see the little windows up here. There's some soldiers, maybe I can't tell, it could be a cannon, but that was to help protect the ships in the dock, in the harbor, from any visitors or any hostile activity. And then you can see the wall here as well, there's two walls here. So this fort was well protected. It was a great place for them to hold all of their valuable gold and silver before it was shipped off to Spain. So, really, some of the main takeaways from this lesson is that Spain was one of the first European countries to settle in the Americas, and their interactions with the American Indians that were already there were not that great. They were enslaved and used to mine golden riches to further Spain's wealth and power. And they did establish St. Augustine in Florida and showed that they can have uh, some of the explorers from Spain could settle and begin to farm and ranch and kind of build their own colony in the Americas and survive. So those are the main takeaways.